Andrew Tate defeated Kamala Harris. He did it. We didn't shut up. We didn't bend. We didn't break. We didn't cower out like everyone else. Didn't shut up. Kept telling the truth. Kept trolling them. Kept making fun of them. Kept doing emergency meetings. And then Kamala lost.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Andrew Tate versus Kamala Harris is heating up. This is all very silly, but I thought it would be fun to look at some of the fallout from Kamala Harris mentioning Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines in her recent book. But first, so we have context for the rest of the video, let's look at what Harris actually said. In the paragraph where Tate and Myron are mentioned, Harris says, "Pundits speak about the bro vote, the frat boy flank. I don't think of them in those reductive terms. Instead, I think about these voters coming of age during COVID, unnaturally isolated, their lives lonely, when they should have been at their most social. At the very moment their world should have been widening, it had contracted. For some, and we need to emphasize those words, for some, the voices that filled the void belongs to Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, and others, who grab attention with get-rich or fitness content, then deliver arguments that feminism is damaging to masculinity, and women need to know their place. Some of you who have seen the Tate's or Myron's reaction to this may be surprised to learn that this is all she said, that some young men, while they were isolated during COVID lockdowns, fell into watching the likes of the Tates and Myron. She is referring specifically to the most desperate and insecure of all young men, the exact types who are susceptible to being sucked into watching the Tates and Fresh and Fit. Considering what we are going to see in the rest of this video, what's more notable than what Harris says is what she doesn't say. She doesn't say that Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines lost her the election to Donald Trump. Now, let's have a look at how these goofballs reacted. It quickly became very clear that the highlight of these guys' career was being mentioned in passing in a book by the former vice president. Myron was the first to react to this on stream and made it clear that this is the highlight of his life.
For some, the voices that filled the void belong to Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, and others who grab attention with get-rich or fitness content, then deliver arguments that feminism is damaging to masculinity and women need to know their place. Wow. Boys, we fucking did it, man. We fucking did it, boys. We kept the female president from taking power. Let's go. She mentioned me in her book. Let's fucking go, baby.
Of course, it didn't take long at all for Tate to upload a video to Twitter reacting to this news. Let's have a look at what he said.
So Kamala Harris just admitted in her new book that I was one of the reasons she lost.
Okay, to be fair, so far, this isn't so bad for Tate. Saying that she said he is one of the reasons isn't that far off. Let's see how long it takes for this to go off the rails.
And I've been saying for a very long time that the reason the liberals and the Democrats have been trying to put me in jail is because I can affect elections.
Oh boy. So this pathetic child is using this as the latest excuse for why he and his idiot brother got arrested for human trafficking.
And now Kamala's saying, yes, Andrew wasn't in jail. So he's one of the reasons why I lost the election. Read her book. She says it herself. Gotcha, bitch.
It was quickly very clear that Tate was going to use Kamala Harris, briefly mentioning that some desperate young boys watched him during COVID lockdowns, to desperately try to convince the world that he's not a sex trafficker. Shortly after, he uploaded another video to Twitter that was a bit more weird.
Kamala lost the election because of me and Myron. I just read in her book. That she lost the election because Myron Gaines and Andrew Tate were telling young men that having a female president girl boss is a bad idea. And she lost the election. That's terrible. That's terrible.
He literally went on like that in this video for nearly 3 minutes. I won't make you all watch the whole thing because I don't want everyone to turn off the video. Later, Tate tweeted, "Do you really think the vice president couldn't get someone banged up on garbage in Romania?" The question I would ask in response to this is, do you think a sex trafficker could get banged up in Romania if he bragged about his crimes all over the internet for years and sold courses teaching other men how to be sex traffickers? In Tate's next tweet, he quoted Kamala Harris, saying Andrew Tate caused a decisive voter shift that made me lose the election. Of course, she said no such thing. Next, Tate uploaded another video to Twitter with the caption, "A timeline of my battle with Kamala Harris. I have always been innocent." There is a lot to unpack with this one, so let's go through it together and I'll stop and give context when needed.
You all a very simple timeline. In 2021, Kamala Harris became the vice president, the second most powerful person on the planet. Because she was serving under Biden, who was senile, you could argue she was the most powerful person on the planet. In 2022, I became the most Googled man on the planet, the most famous man on planet Earth.
He was never the most Googled man on Earth. He was just very briefly the most searched "who is" term on Google. And of course, he was never close to the most famous person on the planet.
I was deemed a threat to the liberal world order and feminism as a whole. 2023, after becoming the most Googled man on the planet, I catch a case in Romania.
I love how he just talks about catching a case as if being arrested and charged with rape, human trafficking, and forming an organized criminal group is the most normal thing in the world. But regardless, he did not just suddenly catch a case in 2023. It was widely known that he was raided in April of 2022 after a US citizen contacted the American embassy in Bucharest, telling them that she believed the Tates had recruited her and transported her to Romania into a sex trafficking ring. Okay, back to Andrew's drivel.
Out of nowhere, my house is raided, and I'm thrown in jail on scam charges. No trial. I wasn't convicted of any crimes. I was simply thrown in jail.
This is one of Andrew's favorite points to show that he has been treated oh so unfairly. It is not uncommon in Romania for someone to be locked up pre-trial in preventative detention if they are deemed to be a flight risk or a risk of interfering with the investigation, something which Tate was caught on recorded jail phone calls doing from jail anyway. Not to mention, this does happen in the US as well. P. Diddy was locked up while he was awaiting trial.
Do you think the most powerful person on planet Earth, from the United States of America, could influence the judicial system in a country as corrupt as Romania, considering I was seen as the #1 adversary to this person?
You also sold courses teaching other men how to do the exact type of sex trafficking that you are charged with doing in Romania.
I am then released from jail after 4 months and forced to stay in my house for 3 solid years.
That is just a blatant lie. Andrew's 2 stints on house arrest add up to 1 year, not 3 years. But he has to exaggerate everything like a silly little drama queen.
While I'm in my house, I am being told via diplomatic cables and everybody else around me, my legal team, you name it, PR, etc., don't talk, Andrew. Be quiet and this will go away. Stay silent, stay in your house and wait. I ignore all instructions.
Andrew saying he ignores all instructions from his lawyers might be the most honest thing he says in this entire video.
I go against the MSM, guns blazing. I fight against them. I do their interviews. I do emergency meetings. I continue to talk. I continue to tell the truth while the police repeatedly raided my house and repeatedly dragged me to jail.
To say he was repeatedly raided and dragged to jail is just silly. Again, he's being a hysterical drama queen.
I do not quit. I do not shut up. I do not stop. I then campaign ultra heavily for Donald Trump to win the American presidential election, which he does. Then, all of a sudden, I'm let free. All of my cases disappear. Everyone just goes, oh yeah, it was made up. Bye. And they let me go.
Ridiculous, absurd, embarrassing. This just did not happen. He hasn't been let free. He's still on judiciary control, having to check into the police station every 60 days. And all of his cases most certainly have not disappeared. In fact, none of them have disappeared. Both cases in Romania remain ongoing, where he and his brother are charged with trafficking dozens of women into webcam pornography, where Andrew is charged for raping a 15-year-old girl and charged for trafficking a 17-year-old girl into webcam pornography. If you are one of Tate's remaining fans who watch him lie about these things and still take him seriously, you have no self-respect left.
And Kamala Harris, my number one adversary from 2022, admits in her autobiography that I am part of the reason she lost. She admits we had a feud, and she admits she lost the battle.
She did not admit that you had a feud. This really is just a little boy desperate for attention.
Because although she was attacking me with all the legal mechanisms she could find, I wouldn't quit, I wouldn't stop, I wouldn't give up. And she lost, I won.
You have not won. You are still facing decades, if not life, in prison.
Understanding all that, do you understand the level of injustice my brother and I have suffered? Do you understand what we've been through?
You guys, Andrew and Tristan Tate are the real victims here. Everyone feels sorry for them.
Do you understand the jail, the house arrest, missing our mother having a heart attack?
Their mother did not have a heart attack. They asked the court for permission to travel to the UK to see their mother in 2023, declaring that she had had a heart attack. The only medical documents they could provide showed that in December of the previous year, their mother had called an ambulance, received an EKG and cardiac checkup, and was discharged, revealing that there was no evidence that she had had a heart attack or any illness that endangered her life. That's right, the Tates lied about and continue to lie about their own mother having a heart attack.
All of our cars and wealth stolen, all of the unfair media articles, the endless lies they keep printing about us. Do you understand what they've done to innocent men purely because we were influencing politics in the direction they did not like?
It might have had more to do with all of the sex trafficking.
When you understand just how unfair that was, I don't want your sympathy.
Yes, you do.
I want you to understand how this world really works so that you can identify next time they try this chicanery. But I won.
Of course, Tate's idea that he won is based on his lie that his human trafficking cases have been dismissed. Just sad, pitiful stuff. And it is now very clear that he is using the fact that Kamala Harris briefly mentioned him in her book to now suddenly change his story and say that she is responsible for he and his brother being arrested in Romania. Crown Murders has kept a full list of the people, organisations and governments that the Tate brothers have blamed for this so far. So far, they have blamed MI6, Antony Blinken, the UK Foreign Office, The Matrix, unnamed Romanian prosecutors, DCOT as an organisation, Romanian judges, Team Matrix, the UK government, the US government, Jews, Zionists, NGOs, lawyers Matt Jury and Danny Pointer, victims in the Romanian case, victims in the UK civil case, victims in the UK criminal case, Romanian media, legacy media, NATO, USAID, the Biden administration, prosecutor Rera Stan, George Soros, and now Kamala Harris has been added to this special club. Of course, the Tates had to host one of their special emergency meeting streams to celebrate this news. Andrew was beside himself, yelling and screaming about this victory.
Andrew Tate defeated Kamala Harris. He did it. Even though they were putting him in jail, locking him in his house. Guys, don't think when I go out of jail and I was in house arrest, I wasn't told to shut up. Andrew, if you shut up, if you don't say anything, this will all go away. Just wait for the election, wait for Trump to lose, wait for Kamala to win, and we'll let you off. All you have to do is sit and be quiet. We'll let you free from your house if you just live a quiet life. No.
In this stream, Andrew was determined to tell his new story that it was Kamala who called the Romanians and told them to throw him in jail. I never thought it was possible for someone to die from lying so hard, but Andrew was screaming his childish lies with such intensity that it looked like his heart could give out at any moment.
Kamala calls the Romanians. They throw us in jail for 4 months without charge. We come out. We're locked in our house for 3 years being told, just shut up to the election. Just shut up to the election. If you shut up to the election, you'll be okay. If you don't shut up and Kamala wins, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. We didn't shut up. We didn't bend. We didn't break. We didn't cower out like everyone else. We stood here on house arrest knowing that we're going to do 20 years in Romanian jail if Kamala loses. We fought back anyway, didn't shut up, kept telling the truth, kept trolling them, kept making fun of them, kept doing emergency meetings, and then Kamala lost. And after she lost, all of our cases went away. Do you know why? Because our cases were invented. They were trying to stop us doing what we did, which is prevent these clowns, these girl boss fucking losers from having control over the largest military and largest economy on the planet.
All complete and utter bullshit. Again, none of the Tate's cases have gone away. Zero. Embarrassingly, Andrew went on to say that Kamala Harris mentioning him in her book is conclusive proof that he and Tristan were set up from day one.
And the best thing about all of this, it's that this is conclusive evidence and proof that Tristan and I were set up from day one with our legal cases. Because we have been saying for the longest time, they did this to us to stop us affecting the election.
The sad thing is it sounds like he is trying to convince himself of this as much as anyone else. The next clip I have to show you is of Andrew saying something just incredibly, mind-numbingly stupid. Have a listen and see if you can pick up on what it is.
Gotcha! You locked everyone up during COVID, trying to be a smart ass, thinking that it's going to be a good thing to control the whole world. And then you admit in your book that people were forced to watch my content instead of go out there into the world and widen their horizons. I raised that generation. And then when you came along and tried to psyop them with your pantsuit, it didn't fucking work, did it? You locked everyone in their house and forced them to ingest my programming. And I raised an army, and that army defeated you. I won.
Did you catch that? Andrew says that Kamala Harris locked everyone up during COVID and forced them to ingest his programming. He's a very confused boy. Can someone please let this absolute imbecile know that the president during the lockdowns of 2020 was Donald Trump? Andrew Tate is dead set as dumb as a rock. And that's really all I have to say about this Andrew Tate, Kamala Harris situation. It's really not that important or serious, but it provided us with a good chance to make fun of a self-confessed sex trafficking child predator and embarrass him by pointing out his ridiculous, humiliating, childish lies. The only other thing of note that came from this stream was the Tates talking about the accounts on Twitter that they are suing, one of which is me.
I didn't lie to you. Since then, we've sued all those people who were lying about us on Twitter.
So the next video I'll work on will be a response to some things the Tates said about me on stream. In the meantime, as I said, Andrew and Tristan Tate are suing me and a number of other people on social media for what we have said about them, saying it has caused them severe emotional distress. Some of us are crowdfunding our defense. To read more about the lawsuit or make a donation towards our defense, you can go to www.truthversustate.com.